Black Clover is back with a new chapter. Noelle has made a pact with the sea god dragon Leviathan, who is actually considered a devil in demonology. Her new power may make her stronger than when she was in her sane stage. Leviathan's attribute is the chaos of water, which has the power to cause immense destruction. And as we all know, Noelle is the queen of chaos, unable to control her magic despite being a member of the royal family. This is because she inherited a huge amount of magic power, a perfect match for the god of chaos, Leviathan. At the end I will explain why I believe that she may be able to contract both Undine and Leviathan at the same time for the final battle against Lucius, making her one of the strongest people ever to have existed. Let's talk about it. The new Black Clover chapter begins with a fight of the Silva family. Aesir was able to defeat her children without difficulty. The biggest problem here is mainly that Noelle, Nebra and Solid find it difficult to fight against their mother. Aesir doesn't have this disadvantage because her perception has changed due to the paladin form. However, it must be said that although they are not in control of their own minds, they are still the same person. So everything they say that has nothing to do with Lucius' plan is actually the truth. And I find it pretty intense how Aesir speaks to her children after all these years. It even seems as if she is disappointed that they are all so weak, and she criticizes their hateful behavior. I can somehow understand Aesir's frustration, especially since Solid and Nebra are not really good people. However, I still hold the opinion that I have had about these two for many years. I think they will surpass their limit and have a very important moment in Black Clover. Since we are now in the final war, it's clear that this moment has come. So far, only Noelle has really apologized. Although Nebra and Solid now have a lot of respect for Noelle, it doesn't feel they have actually apologized and made up for their mistakes yet. So I don't think Noelle should be able to defeat Aesir alone, not necessarily in terms of strength, but rather so that all four of them can have this moment together to finally conclude the Silva plotline. The last thing Aesir can do is bring her four children together, which would be quite emotional. But as we know, Black Clover can sometimes be unpredictable, so don't be surprised if all three siblings could die and transform into paladins to fight against Noelle together. The perfect moment for the introduction of Papa Silva. Anyway, despite her disappointment, Aesir loves her children very much and apologizes for dying back then. But all of this doesn't matter because soon they will enjoy their time together due to the new world that Lucius has created. This situation is very bad, but then suddenly Noelle appears. As I suspected, she was not with the Black Bulls because she was missing. I suspected that she might try to renew the contract between her and Undine. But there was a possibility that Undine could choose to protect the Heart Kingdom instead. It's a shame in my opinion, but I wouldn't give up on the idea that Undine and Noelle will make a contract when there's only one enemy left. Lucius or Gratis. And yes, the chapter hinted that it might not be a 2 versus 1, but possibly a 3 versus 1. Asta, Yuno and Noelle versus Lucius. Noelle compared herself directly to Lucius, so that's actually the power level she wants to reach, but more on that in a moment. And so begins the flashback that explains where Noelle has been during the past few days. We see how depressed Noelle is because she can no longer use the same stage. Then Kahona appears and asks Noelle to follow her. She takes her to the legendary sea god dragon, which has already been mentioned several times, so that Noelle can enter into a contract with his dragon. This contract is like a contract between spirits, so basically Noelle uses a water spirit without using Undine. But it must be clearly stated that the strength of this god is actually unknown, so we do not know if the sea god is stronger or weaker than Undine. But let's first talk about the dragon itself. So after many years, Tabata has finally revealed the identity of the sea god and what Noelle has to do with it. According to legend, the sea god should awaken when the end of the earth is near. The sea god says that it feels that the earth is in danger. It seems that its power exists only to protect the world in such cases. But the sea god dragon needs a strong human with whom it can make a contract, and then fuse with that person like a spirit. The human is Noelle, and the name of the dragon is Leviathan. And here it gets interesting. In mythology, religion and demonology, Leviathan is a well-known female monster often associated with the attribute of water and is dwelling in the abyss. It is one of the three anti-monsters that will awaken when the earth is about to end. The other two are Behemoth and Ziz, because one of these three creatures has now been confirmed in Black Clover and even with the exact description of the end of the world. It is very likely that the other two creatures also exist. Perhaps the five-headed dragon from the land of the sun is one of them. This would mean that the third one is probably also a dragon. Or maybe the other two just haven't appeared yet. According to mythology, they should appear now. One of them could be used by Asta and the other by Yuno. Or maybe other characters will get the chance to contract such a monster. One has the earth attribute, the other the fire attribute. However, this is not always the case, as they often have different abilities. For example, Leviathan is said to have the ability to spit fire. So let's first look at what abilities Noelle has now, and then we will understand what this creature actually represents in Black Clover. In mythology, Leviathan is simply a monster or dragon that possesses immense power and control over water, capable of causing storms and huge waves. In many different versions, she is portrayed as a chaotic and destructive force associated with the stormy power of the sea. Interestingly, Noelle Silva, who has been associated with this monster since the beginning of Black Clover, had difficulty controlling her magic and often caused destructive floods and waves. However, she was sometimes able to control this chaotic power, creating unbelievable magic. This chaos in Noelle's magic control could be related to the wild and unpredictable nature of Leviathan, which represents the stormy natural force of water. Basically, Noelle has learned to control her water magic as expected of a magic knight who must protect the kingdom. But her true nature is not to get rid of her chaos, but to control it. Her nature is not protecting, but destroying. By better understanding the sea god Leviathan and her power, Noelle may be able to better control her own chaotic magic, allowing her to fully unleash her true potential. And that is pretty much the biggest difference between these two water beings. Leviathan and the water spirit Undine are considered complementary or opposing forces in the realm of water, while Leviathan represents the king or queen of the sea with its destructive nature. The water spirit Undine represents the water itself and its protective aspect. Therefore, Undine fits much better with Loro Pichica, and that is why the water spirit also wants to protect the Heart Kingdom instead of attacking Lucius. Leviathan, on the other hand, is here to destroy, so be prepared for Noelle to unleash a very destructive force. Also in demonology, Leviathan is a powerful demonic being associated with the sin of envy and the punishment of hell. So in Black Clover she should actually be a devil, not just any devil, but one of the strongest devil there is. Maybe it's even coming straight from the underworld because of the space-time distortion in the land of the sun, which is basically a gateway to the underworld. The fate of Leviathan is connected with the end of the world in all mythologies, where her release means the coming of the apocalypse. And as we know, the Day of Judgment is here in Black Clover. Once Leviathan is released, the fate of the earth is said to be decided. A battle between good and evil beings. Leviathan usually stands on the side of evil and fights against God. But in a way, this is exactly what happens in Black Clover. They are essentially fighting against God and the angels, while using the power of devils. We have Nacht and his 4 devils. We have Yami with his devil heart. We have Asta and Liebe, and who knows what will happen to Yuno with a magic stone. It's a pretty clever reference that Tabata is using here. Finally, I believe that in the future, Noelle could potentially contract both spirits, combining both aspects of water, protection and destruction. This presents a theoretical scenario where we may never know how strong Noelle's full potential could be. Her potential could even be increased if Noelle is allowed to use the Heart Kingdom Grimoire. you are. Take a moment to think about whether you would really be satisfied with an ending in which Yun and Asta emerge victorious over Lucius, while we are left in the dark about the true extent of Noelle's potential. This uncertainty is quite frustrating, which is why I firmly believe that it must occur. Frankly, if Noelle together with Leviathan cannot match the strength of Asta and Yuno, then she simply must find a way to become more powerful. Besides contracting beings, there aren't many options for a regular person to enhance their abilities. While Noelle's transformation may have different stages, unless it brings her to the same level of strength as the main male characters, it won't be enough. Let's be honest, nobody likes downgrades, even when they come with a power boost. It's like Yuno receiving star magic but suddenly losing his wind magic and the wind spirit. Surely star magic is extremely powerful, but we would have never seen Neverland. And now imagine what Noelle could do with Leviathan and Undine. That's a crazy thought. Generally, the fact that Noelle has received Leviathan supports my theory of the triple parallel power-up system between Noelle, Asta and Yuno. All always receive the same kind of power-up at the same time, so it is expected that Asta will have something similar in the future. Maybe even the Eye of Ryu. Link to the theory in the comments. So what do you think of this new Black Clover chapter and my chapter review? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like, it really helps me a lot. And don't forget to subscribe for more Black Clover content. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.